Vian felt as if time had stopped for a moment. She could not believe what the doctor said. Is it really true? Vian asked, still not believing. Yes, Mrs. Jeon, you are 4 weeks pregnant, the doctor said with a smile. Vian puts her hand on her stomach, feeling herself on cloud nine. She is really happy to know that she is going to be a mother. You have to take care of yourself during this time, said the doctor, and Vian nodded with the tears in joy in her eyes. She came out of the hospital with the report in her hand. She approached the car. The driver opened the door for her. She sat inside and then the driver went to the driver's seat. Take me to Jeon Enterprises, said Vian, to which the driver replied with, Okay, madam, and started the car. She could not wait to tell Jungkook. Vian asked Jungkook last week about a baby, to which he replied that he wanted a beautiful daughter like Vian. She puts her hand on her stomach again and thinks that this baby is the result of their love. Vian loves Jungkook and giving birth to his baby is one of the best things she ever dreamed of. She does not care if it's a boy or a girl. The important thing for her is that the baby will be their own blood. This baby will have their mixed genes and can't be happier than that. They soon arrived at Jungkook's company. She got out of the car and made her way inside the company. The receptionist was shocked to see her. Good morning, madam. Nice to see you here. She greeted her with a smile. Good morning. Vian smiled and greeted her back. I'm sure you are here to meet Mr. Jeon. Please sit down. I will call Mr. Jeon's assistant and he will take you to his office. Vian nodded and sat down on the sofa nearby, and the receptionist called someone. A few minutes later, Vian saw Sebastian coming towards her. She stood up and he greeted her. Let's go, madam. Sebastian motioned for her to walk. Sebastian led her to the office. He opened the door and they went in, but there was no one inside. Mr. June is in the conference room. He will be here in a few minutes. Until then, you can sit here and please tell me what you would like to have. I don't need anything, Vian said and sat down on the sofa. Are you sure, madam? Sebastian asked. Yes, said Vian with a smile. Okay, then I should leave now, said Sebastian as he left the office. Vian was getting bored, so she started walking around the office. The office was big and beautiful. She could see the city through a glass window. As she walked around, she stopped when something on the table caught her eye. She picked up the file and saw that it contained ideas for birthday parties. She looked again at the table where she found a page. She picked up the page and saw the title, My Angel's Birthday, and on that page were written the things he would need for her birthday party. A smile spread across her face, thinking that Jungkook remembers that her birthday is next month and that he has begun preparations. He is thinking of giving her a surprise. Surprise. Suddenly an idea came to her mind. She left the file and page on the table and walked to the sofa. She put the report in her purse so he couldn't see it. If he is going to surprise her, she will do the same. She will tell him the good news on her birthday. Her chain of thoughts broke when she saw Jungkook coming into the office with a beautiful smile on his face. My angel thought to visit me. He approached her and kissed her on the forehead. Yes, I came here because I missed you so much. She sighed and hugged him, feeling the beat of his heart. Did you go to the hospital? Jungkook asked, and Vian pulled away to look at his face. Yes. Vian replied shortly. What did the doctor say? He asked, pressing her cheek with his knuckles. The doctor said that I am weak and I should take care of my health. Vian lied. That's what I always tell you. You don't take care of your health and you don't eat well. So from now on, I will be strict with you. Vian smiled at his word. He looked at her face for a few seconds, then put his hand behind her head and brought her face closer to him, and was about to kiss her when the door jerked open and Jimin came in. Vian immediately stepped back and Jungkook groaned in annoyance. You should knock before you enter my office, Jungkook said, turning to Jimin. When I heard that Mrs. June had come to the company, I could not restrain my enthusiasm. I immediately left everything and came here. But I didn't know that you guys would be doing that, Jimin said teasingly. Jungkook rolled his eyes as Vian blushed and kept her hair behind her ears. Jungkook walked over to the table and was shocked to see the file and the page. He immediately put them in the drawer and breathed a sigh of relief that Vian had not seen anything. Jimin and Vian also came to the table and sat down on the chairs in front of Jungkook. How was your date with Anna? Vian asked.
Amazing. It's wonderful to spend time alone with her. Jimin replied happily. I am worried about one thing. Vayan paused and looked at the two who were staring at her. What are you worried about, Vayan? Jungkook asked. You have not told Anna your truth yet. Vayan said, looking at Jimin. It's something I am afraid to even think about. I will tell her when the times come. Jimin said, and Vayan sighed. She then turned her gaze to Jungkook. Even Jennifer doesn't know she is married to a mafia man. All I know is that she hates liar and she won't forgive him easily. And now she is pregnant, so I want you to keep Taeyang away from these things until she gives birth to a baby. I don't want her to know anything because if that happened, then it would end everything between the two of them. Jungkook nodded in understanding and said, You are right, Vayan. We are far away from these activities these days. We only act when we are threatened by another mafia. We don't do smuggling and drug dealing anyway. We are in the mafia, but we do nothing illegal. The money we have made so far is from the company that the three of us created and ran together after my uncle died. I will still try not to let Jennifer know anything about us, especially until Jennifer gave birth to the baby. After that, Taeyang will tell her everything himself, and I hope she will forgive him not for herself, but at least for the baby. Ryan sighed and looked into her lap and wondered what would happen when Jennifer found out that even her best friend had hidden this big thing from her. Jennifer will not forgive her. I think I should do the same with Anna. Then she will have no choice but to stay with me for the sake of our child. Jimin brought her back from her thought. Vayan narrowed her eyes at Jimin and looked at Jungkook, who turned to look at her. And they shouted angrily, Shut up! Jungkook returned from the office at night. Vayan returned home in the afternoon. He wanted her to stay with him in the office, but she said she did not want to bother him and left. Jungkook entered the house and was surprised when he did not find Vayan sitting on the sofa waiting for him. She sat in the living room every day waiting for him to come. But where is she today? He went upstairs to their room. He opened the door and found only darkness. She did not turn off the room lights like this before going to bed at night. Strange. He looked for the switchboard and turned on the light. He felt his heart drop, seeing the scene in front of him. Vayan was lying unconscious on the floor. I threw my coat, which I was holding in my hand, and ran toward her. Angel, I sat next to her on the floor and patted her cheek. When she still did not wake up, I picked her up in my arms and carried her to the bed and laid down her head gently. I took a glass of water placed on the side table and sprinkled water on her face. Angel, please open your eyes. I patted her cheek again, and this time she slowly opened her eyes. Angel, are you alright? I asked her softly. Tears welled up in her eyes and she suddenly hugged me. I was confused as to what had happened to her that made her cry. Stop crying and tell me what happened. I ran my hand on her ears and asked softly. Someone, someone broke into the house, she said, and my body froze for a moment. How did someone break into the house? I immediately pulled her away and cupped her face with my hand. She was crying incessantly, and seeing her condition, I realized that she was very scared. Vayan, please stop crying and tell me what happened here. And who did you see? I said, wiping her tears with my thumb. I don't know. I saw someone in your study room. When he saw me, he tried to get close. But but I ran away. I called the guards, but they didn't come. And the last thing I remember is that I fainted in the hallway. I don't know what happened after that. But I found her unconscious in the room. And how is it possible for someone to break into my house with such tight security? I thought. Angel, wait here. I will be back in a little while. I said, and as I was about to stand up, she grabbed my hand. Please, don't leave me, Jungkook. She pleaded with tears in her eyes. She is really scared, and I should not leave her alone. Okay, I'm not going anywhere. I am here with you. I said and lay down next to her. She hugged me tightly as if her life depends on me. A few minutes later, I found her asleep. I unwrapped her arms around my waist and carefully placed the blanket over her. I got out of the bed and walked towards the door. I opened the door and took one last look at her before leaving the room. I went to my study room and saw that everything was scattered on the floor. This means that what Vayan said was true, that someone had broken into the house. I looked up at the cameras and saw that they too were broken. I left the study room and went to control room. After the wedding, I forbade the guards to enter the surveillance room, and now only I had access to go there. The condition of the control room was similar to my study room. That crowded broke everything. But how is this possible? No one can came inside this house. Then how? I went to the living room and shouted, "Guards!" Soon they all entered the living room with guns in their hand. As soon as they saw me standing unharmed, they lowered their guns and stood in a line with their hands clasped behind their backs. Can anyone tell me how someone broke into my house? They looked at each other in horror. How? I shouted, and everyone lowered their head. Boss, we were all on duty. We didn't see anyone coming in, one of the guards said. So where were you all when my wife called for help? I asked calmly, but only I know how the volcano inside me is ready to erupt. Boss, we didn't hear anything. Ma'am didn't call us, said the other guard. So you are trying to say that my wife is lying? I shouted again. After that, they said nothing and stood there with their hands folded. Someone broke into my study room, took the important documents, and broke everything inside the surveillance room. And you are saying that no one came in the house? Then tell me where my documents are and how that person got access to my surveillance room. They remained silent. I know that one of you has betrayed me, and I swear that I will find the betrayer and kill him mercilessly. Until then, you will all receive special treatment in my dungeon. They stared at me, fear clutching at their heart. I called Sebastian and told him to take them to the dungeon. I made my way to the room because I know they won't move an inch from here until Sebastian arrives, because they know that if they try to escape, they will be killed more brutally. So if they want an easy death, they must stand here until Sebastian arrives. I entered my room and saw that Vian was still asleep. She had to go through it because of me. Now she will be even more frightened. I can't imagine that would have happened if that bastard had been ordered to kill her. I don't care if he took my documents. I'm just relieved that he didn't hurt my wife. I sat on the bed next to her and leaned my back against the headboard. Blake, I know you are behind it all. I warned you before, but this time I think I should pay you a visit. The next day, after leaving Vian with Jennifer at Taeyang's house, Jungkook made his way to the Blake's company. He looked furious, his jaw and fist clenched and veins coming out of his neck. Everyone in the company was shocked to see him like this, but no one stopped him because they know that if they want to keep themselves alive, they must stay away from him. Jungkook entered the elevator straight and headed for Blake's office. Blake was sitting on his office chair, drinking the wine. Suddenly the door jerked open, causing it to hit against the wall as Jungkook entered the office. Blake smiled at him. Welcome, my son. Blake placed a glass of wine on the table and stood up and opened his arm for a hug. Stop the nonsense, Jungkook bellowed. I know you sent your men to my house. And why do you think that I would do that? Blake asked, sitting on the edge of the table. Blake, I am telling you, if you try to hurt anyone close to me in any way, I won't let you go. Jungkook spoke through gritted teeth. You mean your wife? Blake asked, putting a smirk on his sinful lip. Jungkook glared at Blake, his nostrils were flaring with anger. Why do you think I would hurt my own daughter-in-law, Blake pursed his lips in a pout. I didn't send anyone to your house. And can anyone enter with such strict security arrangement of yours? Tell me, Blake asked. I know you sent someone. You don't have to pretend to be innocent, Jungkook said. Blake stood up and approached him. I have always admitted that I have done to you in the past. I have never denied it. But this time, if I am denying it, it means that I have not done anything like that. And why do you always think of me first? You have so many enemies. They can do it too. Don't you think so? Blake said. I just hope you didn't make that move, Jungkook said, taking a few steps toward Blake. If you try to harm my wife in any way, I will make your life so horrible that you will beg me to kill you, Jungkook said in a low, dangerous voice, and walked towards the door. The slam of the door as he exited shook the walls. As soon as Jungkook left, a smirk appeared on his lips. I was waiting for this moment. I saw in your eyes the same love for your wife that I had for your mother. I hope you didn't mind me interfering a little bit in your life, sir. Hearing the knock on the door interrupted his thought. Come in, he allowed it. A mysterious woman came in and Blake could not help but smirk again. You have done a great job. Blake said to the woman. He can't wait any longer to make his life miserable.